Good morning everybody. I'm very pleased to be here today. Thank you, Mr. President, to welcome us here in the Chamber of Commerce. And believe me, the Turkish Chamber of Commerce is well known. Well known why? Because of the dynamism, the energy and the development that we can see in Turkey. And it's quite appreciated. I'm always impressed when I come here by the level of professionalism and the level of energy. Of course, we have ups and downs from the economical perspective here in the country, in Europe, in most of the countries in Europe and worldwide. But nevertheless, we can see that there are strong transformation everywhere, and you are leading this. So that's important. I want to tell you about the future of the industry of plastics. I'm the president of EuPC. EuPC is the European association covering 50,000 companies. Plastic industry in Europe is about 50,000 companies, 300 billion euros, and 2 million people around the business of plastics. It's a huge industry. But it's an industry in trouble for the moment. Why? First, because plastics has an emotional image and a bad perception from the citizens. Why? Because plastics has not to be found in the river, in the ocean, or in the streets. Plastics has to stay in a circle, in a loop. And that's an important thing. And it's frustrating because plastics have a lot of benefits. And we need, of course, to explain on a rational way what are the benefits. So on one hand, the perception of plastics are emotional and from the citizen perspective sometimes associated with a bad dimension. On the other hand, we have multiple regulation coming. Regulation about recycling, regulation about taxes, regulation about CO2. So for those reasons, we are in an industry starting a significant transformation. And when I say transformation, it's really something structural. Our business model will change because we will not continue to produce plastic products like we did in the past. So I want to address two important points. One is sustainability, and the other one is circularity. Sustainability is about the carbon footprint. Carbon footprint of plastics are good, and that's a good news. I started this speech with the bad news. Bad news is the emotional bad perception of plastics and so many regulations coming. But the good news is that maybe the most important benefits of plastics is CO2 footprint. Yeah, of course, we have a CO2 impact, but when we compare it to other materials, in most of the cases, the performance from the carbon footprint impact of plastics products are better, are lower. And you explain it. Let's look at the full life cycle of the products. If we are able to recycle our products, the plastics products, then we can significantly reduce the carbon footprint impact. And I believe for all of us here in the room, one of the key topics, the key challenges for us, for our kids and for the kids of our kids, is about keeping global warming under control. If we want to keep global warming under control, we will need to find solutions to decarbonate the economy. And from this perspective, plastic is not a problem, it's a part of the solution. I give you an example. I'm leading a family business company, 1 billion euro, and one of our key products are PVC window profiles and products. PVC can be recycled up to 7 times. And the lifetime of a window is about 30 years, 30 to 40 years. It means that by recycling properly windows, you can use a PVC product for 300 years. My God, 300 years. So it means that we can really change the game by having more recycling into our products and by running it from the very scratch, from the design of our product up to the end of life of our product. So CO2 footprint is something very important. Then, it has been said, taxonomy is happening. Taxonomy will be a significant game changer in Europe. Why? Because at the end, and to make it simple, because it's a very complex set of regulations, taxonomy will be about connecting and having a strong correlation between environmental performance of the companies, of the industrial companies, and access to finance and to credits. If you perform on the right way from the environmental perspective, in other words, if you can have a good carbon footprint performance, you will get access to loans and to lower credit rates in the future in Europe. If you don't have the right environmental perspective, if you have too much of an impact from the CO2 perspective, you will not get access to those finance. So this will be a significant game changer, and I can tell you something. In the next years, I believe, in the next 5 years, we will switch slowly from a pure financial management of the companies to an extra financial management of the companies. And by extra financial, I'm talking about environmental KPIs, environmental indicators related to recycling, water consumption, energy consumption, and obviously CO2 footprint. So those are very important points. So the first one is about sustainability. Sustainability is a big opportunity for the plastic industry. The second one is about circularity. Circularity is about, and again, this has been said by both President of the Chamber of Commerce and PAGEV. Circularity is about, well, let's keep all the plastic products in a virtuous circle, in a loop. Don't leave them outside of the loop. It means we will need to collect properly, sort out the product. We will need to gather them, to recycle them, and then to introduce it again in the new products. Today, in Europe, in packaging, we have some regulation happening with mandatory recycling content, 10, 20, up to 30%. Tomorrow, and when I say tomorrow, it's not in 10 years' time, it will be in 2 or 3 years' time, you will have regulation with recycling mandatory content for all the products, packaging, building and construction, automotive, medical, all the sectors. And this should be an average of 30%. Obviously, you will have products with higher rates expected, others with lower rates. One question. Do we have enough recycling products to get to this goal of 30% today? No, absolutely not. We are far from that. So it means that if we want to go through this direction, we will need to invest significantly in recycling, both chemical recycling and mechanical recycling, obviously, but we will need also to look on the way to innovate, to continue to produce quality products with higher recycling rates. We don't want to compromise on quality. We want to keep the same quality of our products, but with higher recycling content. And from scratch, from the design of the products to the production, to the promotion and the usage of the products, up to the recycling at the end of the life, we will need to have a very smart innovation in order to improve the level of recycling content in the products. 30% is a goal, but it's not the end of the game. At the end, we want to go to 50%, 60, 70, and even higher. Of course, it will depend on the products, but this is the way. This is a wave, and this is something we need to be prepared for. At the EuPC level, as you can imagine, we have multiple contacts with the European Commission, with the different organizations, with politicians. We want to explain to them the benefits of the products on a rational basis with scientific information, facts, figures. But again, plastics is an emotional topic, so we will need really to have the right communication. But by having those contacts, we know what they are working on and what will be the future regulations. And from this perspective, we will have 2 to 3 years to adapt ourselves. From the industrial perspective, this is the time frame that we need to be prepared. So, sustainability, circularity, what can we do? I talk about innovation. I'm impressed to see how fast and how agile we can develop new ideas all along the value chain to work on better equipment, better machines, better schemes to improve sorting of plastics, all the different polymers. The way to introduce with eco-design more recycling products in the finished goods. So innovation is crucial. Collaboration along the value chain is another very important dimension, and here I want to mention something. One of our goals is to improve connection, collaboration from the supplier of plastics material up to the customers, including recyclers, converters, customers, schools, everything, innovation center, everything related to the value chain. And this is not easy. But here, and that's something that I really want to say, PAGEV, you manage it. You do it. So what? The result is that you are stronger, faster, more agile. And I think this is really an example. And believe me, I was really impressed by some of the visits that we had yesterday, and I was really pleased with that. And we will take something out of that, because this is very important to work together. You know, I like to say that the enemy is always outside, not inside. We have to work together along the value chain, because our industry deserve innovation and deserve a much better image that we have today. But this is up to us to make it happen. So in a nutshell, I think we are in a significant transformation because of the image of plastics, because of the regulation that will come and that will change significantly just the way to sell our products to our customers and to produce it. But we have very strong assets and interesting opportunities. By leveraging innovation, by leveraging collaboration, and maybe by communicating a bit more, I'm sure that we can develop things. And my last point will be about connection with Turkey and Europe. This is something possible. This is really something that we work on. And PAGEV is one of our important members around the table of EuPC of all the countries. By sharing practices, by developing things together, I'm sure that we will progress and develop a more sustainable future. So, thank you to all of you. And we will now work on the other topic about always keeping plastics on the loop, but from the microplastics perspective. Bernard. Thank you.